Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, Can the Mind Be Controlled? This is an interesting subject because there's this idea that we can control our thoughts, that we can control the mind. And I am not against it or in favor of it. But what I'm noticing is that when people subscribe to that idea, it can lead to a lot of frustration when they find themselves not being able to control their thoughts. You see? Now, what my experience has been, because I've been, for many years, I've been in this quote-unquote spiritual path and trying to control the mind, and it led to a lot of frustration. What I did notice is that, at least in my experience, mind cannot be controlled, but it can be observed. See? By being able to observe the content of the mind, it takes all the weight. Because trying to control it is because I am resisting whatever it is appearing. But if I can observe it, I am no longer in resistance to what is appearing. I'm just simply the observer, the witness of it. And consequently, I don't find myself being affected by it. I have all kinds of thoughts, like everybody does. They appear, but when there's not a judgment about them, when they've been observed, notice that they also move out. They disappear. Everything changes, but what I am doesn't. And we're pointing here to what I am. You see? And what I am is not an individual, because that is a description, that is a judgment, that is a thought. It comes from a thought. So I can even observe the thought that says, I am this individual. But when the thought appears, I can also do an investigation and see if I can find the thinker of the thought. I can never find it. I cannot find that which says, this is what I'm going to think. See? I can see a thought appearing, see, but I cannot control it. I simply observe it. And when I say I simply observe it, I'm not talking about me, the person, you see. I am not the one observing the thoughts. Thoughts have been observed by what? By the presence that I am, which is where this is all pointing to. Not by the individual, because I still identify with thought. Now, when people say, I can control the thoughts or that it's possible, well, what I always suggest, being very respectful to everyone's belief system, which a belief system is a thought system, you see. I said, if you can control the mind, then go at it, then try it, and tell me how it goes. I haven't found anybody who can tell me that they can control it, you know. If you can, well, congratulations. But thoughts do appear. If I don't believe in them, on the other hand, I'm free. If I believe in them, I am imprisoned by them. They cannot imprison me, actually. It's my own interpretation of them is what imprisons myself. So actually, I am not imprisoned by the thoughts that appear. I am imprisoned by the interpretation, the power that I'm giving to something that if it is seen, it cannot have any effect on me. Because I am. Right now, you can never not be. Now, let's say that what I'm saying triggers something in you, and let's say it bothers you. And you begin to get defensive. No, you can control the thoughts. What I would say is, have you noticed that that defensiveness is a thought? Now the question is, do you want to feel that way? Do you want to feel upset? Because if you do want to feel upset, you will be defending that thought, you see? The thoughts that is suggesting that I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm simply offering a possibility, a different way of living life. See? So if somebody get upset by what I'm saying, is because that person has overlooked that that is a thought that they are attached to, and that is what creates the feeling of upset or feeling of distress. See? Because don't want to let go of a belief. See? I'm opening here to the possibility that what if everything I've learned is wrong? Or not true? Let's not take the right or wrong. What if it's not true? Am I willing to deal with the fact that maybe, Jesus Christ, maybe what I believe for my for up to this point may not necessarily be true? And I'm willing, am I willing to let go of that sense of identity, especially if that sense of identity carries a lot of pride? Am I willing to deal with the possibility that, my God, I don't know anything, and I thought I did? See, these videos are not to try to tell you or suggest that you're wrong or whatever. No, this is not about that. I would never do that. I'm just simply that I'm offering a possibility that if you don't believe anything you've been taught, you've learned, if you don't believe any of it, you can experience the freedom. That is when there's no identification with the content of the mind. The content of the mind will appear. I don't know. I have no clue why do things appear or why things happen, and it doesn't matter. They seem that they do. But there's a way of living life where I am not identified with the content of the mind, and therefore I am free, meaning I am happy, meaning I am at peace. And that's invitation with these videos. It's not about getting into philosophical conversations. I have no interest in any of that. That's just more thinking. It's pointing to the obvious. Right now, notice that right now, life is. And don't let any thoughts trying to translate or interpret what is. When people usually tell me that they can control the mind, I said, well, when you go to bed at night, can you control the hour and the time you're going to fall asleep? Can you tell me exactly what time you're going to fall asleep? We never know. We fall asleep when we're supposed to. And then, can we control the time we're going to wake up? You see? Yeah, maybe if you need to have a alarm clock because you have to wake up at a certain time and you're concerned that you may not, it's not that you're controlling it, because in the end you're going to wake up if you're supposed to. If you're not supposed to, that alarm clock will sound and you will turn it off without realizing and go back to bed. We don't know. But I noticed that I go to bed at night and then I end up sleeping whenever it's supposed to, and I wake up when I'm supposed to. Like, for example, right now I woke up at 4:37 in the morning. Right now it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, if I let the mind try to take over, oh no, I want to force myself to sleep more because if I might be tired later. I don't know if I'll be tired later. I have no clue. These are thoughts, you see. This is just the mind trying to make up a story when all that it seemed to have happened is that the body was inspired to wake up at 4:37 in the morning. Great, so today I woke up at 4:37. But what if I get tired later? I don't know, and if I do, I guess I might be directed to take a nap or something like that. But there's nothing to force, it's just life happening. See? Life is just happening. It seems as if though yesterday I woke up at, 9 o'clock in the morning. Wonderful. Today woke up at 4:37. Who cares? Because the yesterday that I'm referring to doesn't even exist. It's a thought. I just use that just for illustration purposes. That's all, for the sake of the argument. But in the end, all that there is right now, right this moment. This is all there is. All we're looking is how the mind translates everything, and it's always trying to make sense of everything. Life is very simple. Right now, I am. You cannot say that you cannot say you are not. Right now, you are. Life is. And whatever you seem to be doing is part of what you're supposed to be, what's supposed to be happening in your life. And if you don't let the mind trying to become the narrator of what's going on, then life is simple. Sometimes you wake up early, sometimes you wake up late. Sometimes you find yourself going to bed early, sometimes you find going to bed late. You see how life unfolds, how you deal with whatever is happening, but you're resting in this space that you are, you see, and now mind does not have to be controlled, simply to be observed. I don't know what is the next thought I'm going to have, it doesn't matter. But if I observe the thought rather to judge the thought, I can experience the peace that passes all understanding at all times, because that is what I am. See, I am the background, I am the substratum, I am that in which all of it seems to manifest. The thought seems to manifest in that. The actions, the sensations, everything seems to manifest in that, and I am that. You are that. All this is that, and that, it's all that there is. Okay, well, that's the inspiration that came through this instrument at 4 something in the morning. Hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.